Hello, everyone. Just to say, I was supposed to do this yesterday. We had some technical difficulties with our internet, and I had to fix it, and everything's good now. But today I have with me my little kitty Luna. You've not met any of my fuzzy little friends. This is my kitty. So she's here to say hi. She's not usually in my room when I do this, but she followed me in today. So, Luna, I have another fuzzy friend with me. This is Percival. Percy for short. He's the big hairy fuzzball of our group, so hi Percy. Here we go. Alright, so you've met two of my fuzzy friends. You might be able to meet the two of the other ones. One of them, there's just no way. It's not going to happen. But anyway, well, last week we were talking about and reading stories that we have been writing here recently. This one that I'm going to start reading is a newer version of the one I read for our older ones. That one was written back in middle school. This is a much newer version that I started in college. So it's changed a lot. It's in first person. I'm not sure it's going to stay that way because I'm not sure I can stay in his head that long. He's a little sarcastic and stuff. So please forgive me if I move off the screen or something because I'm going to flip the thing over and I won't be able to see. So just bear with me. Okay. Legends. Ha! Just the thought of the word makes me laugh. It is the whole concept of these legends and myths, of heroes and foes that bring chaos to this world. The bright and dashing young warriors that fight for the good of the land and the hand of the fair maiden. The hero always wins, saving the day from whatever beast happens to be destroying the peace and balance. Beautiful women batting their eyes, flirting, with the overachieving beast slayer hoping to be the one that he will take into his... Sorry, let me reread that. With the overachieving beast slayer hoping to be the one he will take into his arms and sweep her away. It sickens me. Legends are just overtold stories that grow thin over time. As it passes down from the ancients, the story is changed, and eventually there is nothing left of the truth. The heroes somehow beat the odds when in fact they had barely escaped with their lives. They also have a tendency to die an honorable or worthy death. However, it is far from the truth. Most heroes were slaughtered or eaten. Even some begged for their lives. It is rather amusing, really, especially when people try to become the heroes they grew up hearing about. But little they know. Most were in it for the money and the girls, not to mention most were just creeps. Now, we come upon the subject of good and evil. Oh, what a wonderful thing it is to get into a discussion about. Basically, there is no evil. Everyone has the potential to be evil. There is no one that can claim to be purely good. And in this world of wars and destruction, everyone is considered evil. This is brought about by the fact that there will always be someone that believes that the other side is evil. There is a given proof for this. Anyone can be corrupted. But how do I know all this? Simple. I have lived through a good deal of my life in this world. Our ancients were able to pass down stories with the trust that they would be told true. A trust such as this is hard to find in this world. Yeah, so there we go. As you can see, he doesn't think highly of people or anyone else for that matter. Again, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to stay in first person with him. I haven't really decided. I don't have a plot completely set up for it yet. So I guess we'll see. Okay, on to the next story. This one is a fanfic that I am writing for an anime called Naruto. It's basically the whole thing. This is like 13 chapters into it, but the whole thing is basically between a partnership between two of the characters and how it started out and how it was not very easy at the beginning. So I'm gonna read a little bit from this chapter. Itachi stirred early in the morning for a reason that was unknown to him. It was not his usual nightmares, but the odd feeling that something was misplaced, that something was wrong. It was just a slight twinge in the back of his mind, something that he should have easily been able to ignore. However, he had just recently discovered how important it was to listen to what his senses were telling him. As a shinobi, it was a natural trait to follow instinct, but these men had taught him that he needed to pay closer attention to them if he was going to survive amongst them. He let out a soft breath as he began to let his senses reach out to his surroundings. He could easily pinpoint the slow, steady breathing of his two sleeping comrades. Despite his facade, both seemed to be unsettled in their sleep. something nudging at their minds as they shifted uncomfortably in their sleep. He could tell that neither was far from the waking world, slowly being brought back from the same disturbance that now plagued him. Slowly he let his eyes open to look at the stark white ceiling of the room. Despite his efforts, he could not pinpoint what it was that would be bothering them. The only thing he could tell was that it was not born out of danger for them. He could easily deal with the problem if it had been the case. But this new perception was not something that he'd ever dealt with before. It was a worry seemingly born out of nothing. Pushing himself off the bed, he had to fight to ignore the cold chill that threatened him as the sheet pulled around his waist. Shifting only slightly, he took in his surroundings, finding that nothing was out of place. Their bags were packed and placed near the door, each of their cloaks laying on the foot of their bed. Each had worn their uniform and sandals to bed in case of quick escape was needed. Hedon's scythe was resting against the wall next to the zealot's bed for easy access. Not a single thing had been moved since he had fallen asleep not so long ago. A slight frown crossed his features as confusion began to seep into him. With each passing moment, he could sense the others becoming more agitated in their sleep. Before he could think any further on the matter, a sharp movement and sound caught his attention. Hedon had bolted straight out of the bed, scythe in his hand, as a pained scream sounded from the next room. Before he had time to question the zealot, he had rushed out the door. Alrighty, so there's that one. I do apologize for these. These are all first drafts. None of them have been edited by me or anyone else. So if I, again, pause, it's because I saw a typo or something was worded strangely and I was trying to figure it out. So yeah, as you can kind of see, my writing is, you'll especially see in this one, I kind of am a dark writer. I don't mind writing fluff and fun scenes and stuff like that, but I need something to go with it. I can't just write those. So I need drama to go with it. Yeah, so my last one is from it's a RP fanfiction, I guess. I do not own anybody or anything from Naruto. I do not get anything from writing that fanfic. It is just for pure fun. So disclaimer, this one is one of my characters. We're not going to get to very far for any of the other ones, so this is basically a fun little story that I wrote when this RP kind of died, and or towards the end of it, I can't remember exactly when, but this was a college-written one as well. Also first person. Grief. Something I know far too well. Pain, in any sense, is something I'm unfortunately accustomed to. Though it might be something I am used to, it does not mean it hurts any less. I had to learn this the hard way. A hole ripped into my heart so large that I could not ignore it, and like any normal human being, I wallow in it. My heart had been torn to pieces just a little over 4 months ago. My love had been taken from me, leaving a hole there in my chest where my heart should be. It was a void. It felt empty of anything that even resembled hope that I might have and ever possibly feel again. And though time should have begun to heal this wound, as time passed it only seemed to get worse. These feelings ran through me still as I lay curled up in the middle of our bed. Correction, my bed. I buried my face into the cloak of my lover, and as I felt tears swell in my eyes. I was surprised I had anything left. I had cried so much already. I still could not bring myself to believe that he was gone. It was a surreal feeling, like a nightmare, that you feel you could wake up from and find everything all right. But this is reality. It was never going to be all right. He promised me that I would never have a reason to cry like this again. That he would always be there to protect me, to hold me, to comfort me in my time of need. But he was not here with me now. And it was all my fault. He gave his life to save mine, but in the end, it only ended up destroying me. I would never admit to this fact. For me, this was normal. Brooding on my own in the darkness, this is how I knew how to deal with it. I let it consume me and feel the urge to no longer be in this world. Yet something keeps me here. Something beyond my comprehension keeps me bound to this sad excuse for an existence. There is a reason. I just do not know what it is. I had never felt this way. This empty silence of one being separated and alone from the world around them. Never had I felt so empty. I had always had someone with me in those times of grief and pain. But even he was separated from my life. The demon, Chaos, was no longer the voice of reason in my mind. He had always been the one to keep me in this world and hanging on to my sanity, but I did not have him. Scott, you promised to be there for me. I whimpered into the cloak beneath me. You said I never had to be alone again. You just had to play the hero and save me. Why? I could feel my tears soaking close beneath me, but I did not care. Many times I had cried myself to sleep into that very cloak. I clung to it as if it were my lifeline to this world. I am truly pathetic. I started as the bed dipped down behind me. I had not noticed anyone in the room. A firm but gentle hand rested on my shoulder to slowly rub in soothing motion. Even with my mind numb to the world around me, I knew that touch. Alrighty, so that was my third piece. This is starting to get really long, but I didn't have any one really long one that I felt like reading, because some of the other ones are kind of interesting to try and read past those points, because everyone would get confused, and I wanted to leave off on a maybe not quite so confusing note. So, as you can kind of see, yeah, I'm a little bit of a dark writer. I really like to write in description, even if it's in first person. I'm kind of surprised. I usually write in third person. I don't usually write in first person. First person usually doesn't go so well for me. But those two, they worked in first person somehow. And, yeah, next week we will be talking about... We will be talking about... Oh, how we get our story inspirations, which should be really interesting when it comes to this group. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I can guarantee you that one. So I will see you next week. Come in tomorrow for Erin, and I will see you next Friday. Bye!